So as you find your seat, become aware of your sit bones, those 2 points right under your little cheeks there that are making contact with your block, blanket, or pillow. And from that space, from those sitting bones, imagine growing taller through the spine, sort of unfurling like so many of the little plants that are finally starting to burst through the soil. Reaching up towards the sky, towards the sun with the crown of your head. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or just have a steady gaze out in front of you. Just taking a moment to become aware of anything that's immediately grabbing your attention physically. So that might be like a sensation, like maybe your ankle is uncomfortable or your knee feels weird. And just taking a second, if you could make an adjustment to fix it, then do so. But if it's just kind of one of those things like, oh, I'm a little tight there, just acknowledge it and then just let it go. And we're going to really put our effort into moving through this hour of practice, just moment to moment, not allowing any one thought, feeling to take us in that direction that it wants us to go. We're going to stay nice and grounded and centered and present. And it doesn't mean that thoughts won't come up and emotions won't arise. It just means that we acknowledge them, we honor them, and then we just let them float by. And the breath is such an important tool to anchor us into this present moment, and we'll be returning to it constantly through the hour. So let's begin to notice it now. First, perhaps the sound. Maybe where your body moves when you inhale. In the belly, the chest, the shoulders, the back of the body. And the quality of the breath, is it feeling tight or constricted? Are you able to breathe freely and openly, like feeling like you're getting a lot of air in? Becoming fascinated with your own inner landscape. Trying not to let one breath go by unnoticed. You can open your eyes. On an inhale, we're going to lift the arms up over the head, look up. Exhale, you're going to make that shushing sound like you're at the library. Shh. Inhale, look up, arms up. Exhale, shh. Again, inhale, arms lift, gaze up. And shush your neighbor. Shh. Beautiful. This time, arms will come over the head. You're going to interlace all 10 fingers and turn your palm inside out, creating a little roof over your head. I want you to lift your rib cage away from your hips. Lift your shoulders towards your ears, elongating the upper body. Don't forget to breathe. Where can the air move freely here in this posture? Where Can it not move freely? When we open up space in one place, it means closing off space in another. Good. Release the arms down, interlacing all 10 fingers behind you. Open through the chest, extend through the spine, reaching down and back with your fists. The gaze is up, the chest is open, shoulders broad, squeezing shoulder blades together. The pelvis rocks forward slightly. Water spilling out the front of your bowl, the bowl being your pelvis. And release. Oh, feels heat in the back body. Clasping the fingers in front of you. Reach out towards me. Shoulder blades come apart. Rounding through the spine. Tucking the pelvis. Water spilling out the back of your bowl. Chin to chest. Gazing down at your navel as you spread the shoulder blades apart. Closing through the chest. As we open through the back, we close through the chest. These are the equal and opposite reactions. Beautiful. Arms come down by your sides. And we're just going to be starting kind of like a wave, like you're at a rock concert. You're going to inhale, the right arm comes up. Exhale it over. Inhale, switch sides. Exhale to come through that lateral bend. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. Follow your own breath. Last time. And then arms come back down by your sides, bringing the left arm to the outside of your right thigh. The right fingertips come behind you. Gentle twist. Keep the pelvis facing forward towards me. Equal weight in the sit bones. So you get that twist happening through the mid-spine, not by twisting through your hips and pelvis. We're getting into all the movement patterns that the spine is capable of. Flexion, extension, twisting, lateral bending. Coming back through center, slowly switching sides. Good, back through center. Removing your block, we'll come into a tabletop position, knees directly underneath the hips and hands directly underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck your toes under. Sit your hips back. Keep your chest up. Extend through the spine. Look at me. Chest is open. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Stretching through the big toe, through the back of the feet, maybe into the ankle. Good. Lift the hips. Untuck the toes. Sit the hips all the way back. Extended child's pose. Hold and breathe into the back body, feeling the back ribs expand, the space between the ribs softening. On your next inhale, lift the hips up, back into tabletop, tuck the toes, sit the hips back, keep the gaze up, chest up, extend through the spine, press down through the palms, straight through the elbows. Lifting the hips, tuck the toes, extended child's pose. On an inhale, lift the hips back to tabletop. Exhale to bring the knees wide, toes together. Hold here for just a moment. So your toes are touching, the knees are wide outside the distance of your shoulders. And we're going to sit the hips back, keeping the chest up. Good, and then lift back into table. And then come past your tabletop position, shoulders drift past your ankles. So you're almost extending through the hips, and then sit back down towards the heels. I'll show you from the side in case that's not totally clear. So as you come forward, squeeze your butt a little bit, really lift the chest and squeeze the legs. So we're almost in like a little bit of a plank position, and then sit the hips back again, keep the chest up. So we're just rocking between these two places. You're gonna get a nice stretch, hopefully a gentle stretch through the groin, through the inner thighs and inner hip flexors. Good. Now as you're sitting back, your chest is up. We're going to come into a twist. Taking the right arm, you're going to thread the needle through, drop your shoulder down, head comes down, and then straighten the left arm, tenting the fingertips. So we're getting into the hip flexors here and opening up through the back body. Return your attention to your breath, in and out through the nose. Where can you breathe into and soften? Bring your left hand back right in front of your face. Press up through the left palm. And switching sides, the left arm comes through. Drop the left shoulder. Reach out with the right arm, tenting the fingertips. So you're gazing right underneath your bicep. Breathing into all the nooks and crannies, allowing the breath to sweep through, dusting away the cobwebs, opening up, making space. Good. Pressing through the right palm all the way back up, and knees will come back to a neutral position, back into your tabletop. Tuck the toes and go into your first downward facing dog. Make any adjustments you need to make. Walk the dog if you'd like. Make sure the fingers are spread wide. Pressing especially through the meaty part between the index finger and your thumb, so you're not heavy on your wrist or the outside of your hand. You've got that equal pressure distributed through the entire hand, including your fingers. Good. We'll bring the right foot to the outside of the right pinkies. From here, drop the back knee down, top of the foot comes down, and we'll hang out here for just a few breaths. The pelvis sinks down and forward. So instead of staring down at your, right between your thumbs, rounding the upper back, I want you to extend through the spine, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can tent your fingertips. If you want to come up onto blocks to lift your upper body, that's fine. Pelvis moves down and forward. Breathing into the hips, shoulders away from the ears. Place the left palm all the way down. If you had tented fingers, you're going to take your right hand and press it into the inside of the right knee, gently twisting, looking behind you. Opening up space for the belly to expand. One more inhalation. As you exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, walking out the heels as needed. Lift the hips high and wide. Untuck your tail so you can get a nice, that lengthening in the hamstrings can only happen if we're able to unround the low spine. So coming into a slight untuck of the tail to get that nice stretch to the back of the legs. Let's bring the left leg to the outside of the left pinky. Drop the back knee down, top of the foot comes down. Either sitting those hands on blocks or tenting fingertips. Roll the shoulders down and back, chest open, chest forward. Pelvis sinking down and forward. Almost like you're going to back bend in this position instead of rounding and flexing, back bending and extending through the spine. Good. Placing the right palm down, taking the left palm, gently pressing it into the inside of the left knee as you look behind you. Deep breath, deep belly breaths, opening up through the rib cage, through the diaphragm, through the upper chest and throat. One more inhale. As you exhale, plant the hand, tuck the toe, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the right leg, keeping the hips level. Exhale, bring the right foot between the thumbs. Drop the back knee down. Inhale up into a low lunge. Good. Keep tucking your pelvis slightly as you back bend, finding the extension in the thoracic spine, the mid-spine, and not through the lumbar. Wrapping the pinkies inward to encourage shoulders away from the ears, squeezing the shoulder blades together as the knee travels forward, pelvis sinks down and forward. One more inhale. As you exhale, straighten the arms down at a 90 degrees, twisting towards the leg that is forward. Spread the fingers wide, energetically reaching away from your midline, imagining your heart radiating out on all sides. And you can look back as well if that's comfortable for your neck. On an inhale, arms lift back through center over your head. Exhale, plant your hands around the front foot, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring the left foot between the thumbs. Lower the back knee, top of the foot down. Inhale, arms up over your head. Hold here and breathe. Elbows wrapping inward, pinkies wrapping inward. Knee and pelvis moving forward. Good, trusting. Moving toward your future, towards your potential, not backwards. Find the breath. Where can it go easily? Where does it struggle to go? Find all of those points. On your next exhalation, coming into rotation, second side, spread the fingers wide, reach energetically. Two directions, pulling and squeezing equally away from one another. That creates stability. On your next inhale, arms come up over the head. Exhale, frame front foot, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, glide forward, high plank. Hold here and breathe, dropping to your knees if you need to. Squeeze through the glutes, straight through the knees. Squeeze the thighs, drive the heels back, straight through the elbows, shoulders stacked over the wrists. Squeeze the core, bracing, bracing, bracing. Good, on your next exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet to your hands. Exhale as you arrive, forward fold. Clasping onto opposite elbows, bend through your knees and rock side to side, front to back, like a rag doll. Let the head hang heavy. Feel space being created between the vertebrae as your head slowly moves closer and closer towards the floor. Lengthening, lengthening through the spine. Release your elbows and slowly begin rolling up one vertebrae at a time, unfurling. Head is the last to lift. Arriving in Tadasana, shoulders relaxed. Feet underneath your hips, soft through the knees. Lengthen through the low spine by slightly tucking the pelvis. On an inhale, arms lift up over your head. Exhale, sit the hips back, chair pose. Find that equal point between the balls of the feet and the heels. Pressing down equally, heavy, rooting down, finding the stability, building heat through the legs, finding the breath. On an inhale, straighten through the legs. Exhale, arms come behind you, clasping all 10 fingers. Inhale to lift through the chest, back bend. Exhale through bent knees. Belly comes to chest, complete forward fold, standing yoga mudra. It's lifting and reaching up towards the sky with your fists. Relax your head and neck, gazing between the knees. Deep bend through the knees, belly resting on the thighs. On your next inhale, arms sweep by your sides, coming back into chair. Hold and breathe. Beautiful. On your next inhale, straighten through the knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, left leg follows, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lowering down, knees, belly, chest, elbows in, tops of the feet down. Inhale, back bend of your choice, baby cobra, full cobra, or up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps in. Exhale, left leg follows, forward fold. Inhale through flat back to rise up, arms sweep over the head, standing salute. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, right leg follows, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, right leg follows, forward fold. Inhale through flat back to rise up, standing salute. Exhale, arms down by your side, Tadasana. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, firm through your core. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, hold here. Now the back leg is relatively straight, a soft knee, but an engaged quad, so that thigh muscle on the back leg is locked on. Back heel is up, stacked over the ball of the foot. On an inhale, hands come to the heart. Exhale to twist. Now, if you need to drop the back knee for balance, do so, no problem. Squeeze those legs towards the midline. Really, really firm through the core, firm through those big leg muscles, creating stability. Drive the heel back. Don't forget to breathe. On your next inhale, arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, plant the hands through Chaturanga. Inhale, the right leg steps forward. Exhale, left leg follows, forward fold. Inhale through the flat back, all the way up, standing salute. Exhale, arms down by your side. Good, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg steps back, high lunge. Exhale, firm through the core, firm through the legs. Inhale to rise up, second side, high lunge. Front knee stacked over ankle, squeeze, squeeze through the legs to create that stability, finding all three corners of the foot, front foot. Dig into that ball of the big toe, that ball mound of the big toe. On your next inhale, hands come to the heart. Exhale to twist, hooking the elbow onto the outside of the thigh. Drop the back knee if you need to. Squeeze through the legs. Squeeze through the core. Find the breath. On your next inhale, arms come up over the head. Exhale, frame front foot, lowering down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, right leg follows, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift up over the head, standing salute. Exhale, Tadasana, hold and breathe. Good, you can close your eyes if you'd like. Feeling the heart pumping, the heat of the energy we've created. Little tingly through the fingertips. Good, on your next inhalation, arms come up over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, setting up back foot for warrior one. Back foot comes to 1 o'clock. Inhale, arms lift, warrior one. Hold and breathe here. Back leg is straight. Back edge of the foot, outer edge of the back foot is pressed down as much as possible. And the front knee is over the front ankle. And one more inhalation as you exhale, coming into warrior two. 90 degrees in the back foot, arms reaching out by your sides, gaze over the front fingertips. Now watch the front knee, being sure that the knee isn't falling in towards the midline. Squeeze through the outer leg muscles, the glute med, to pull that knee out into alignment over the ankle. Squeeze the glutes and tuck the tail under slightly, long, low spine. On an inhale, straighten through the front knee. Exhale to reach out over the horizon, and then the arms will rotate into Trikonasana, triangle. Good. Now squeeze especially the back leg glute, and that's going to help push the hips into extension, trying to create as straight a line as possible, reaching energetically through the fingertips, gazing up if you can, if not, gazing right in front of you towards me. It's an inhale to press through the back leg to rise up. Exhale, bend front knee, warrior two. Inhale to flip the front palm. And exhale to reverse warrior, draping your back arm over the back leg, just letting it kind of hang. Trying not to lose the bend in the front knee as you open up through the front ribs. On your next inhalation, coming back to warrior two. Exhale, hands frame front foot, going through chaturanga, lower down to your belly. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, walk the feet in towards your hands. Exhale as you arrive, forward fold. Inhale to rise up through flat back, arms sweep over the head, standing salute. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Beautiful. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, setting up for warrior one, second side. Inhale to rise up, warrior one. Making whatever adjustments needed, and then finding stillness and returning your attention to the breath. One more inhale. As you exhale, externally rotating the back hip, arms coming down into 90 degrees. Warrior two. Make any small adjustments needed, and then find stillness within the posture, squeezing through the legs, softening through the face and shoulders. On an inhale, straightening through front knee. Exhale to reach out, and then windmill the arms back into Trikonasana, second side. Firm through the legs, firm through the core, soft through the face. Continuing to breathe. Where can you soften? On your next inhale, pressing through back leg, rise up. Exhale, bend front knee. Inhale to flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior, keeping the bend in the front knee. Relax the back arm, opening through the side body. Gazing past the elbow if that's comfortable for your neck. Stay firm through the legs, firm through the core. It's an inhale to come back to warrior two. Exhale, hands frame front foot, coming all the way down to the mat. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to walk your feet to your hands. Exhale, fold as you arrive. Inhale through flat back, rising up, standing salute. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Beautiful. We'll come now into 5-pointed star. Super wide between the feet, arms out by your sides. Make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. On an inhale, like you're going to touch your elbows behind you, open the chest, look up and back bend as you exhale all the way down. Forward fold. Let the arms relax as you finally come down into this wide-legged forward fold. And the arms really can just be like noodles. You can put them wherever you would like to put them. The top of the head is sinking towards the floor. Taking a few deep breaths. You can have soft knees here, everybody. You don't need to lock the knees out. You can play around with how that feels, straight knees versus bent knees. Good. Now we're going to tent the fingertips and flatten through the back, coming into a half lift. Now what I want you to do is bring your right fingertips to the center, so right underneath your heart. And you're going to take your right palm And you're going to put it on the low back, so like right on your lumbar spine, and then we're going to twist to the right. So what I want you to see is, can you keep that low back nice and flat? Can you keep the right hip down and level with the left hip as you twist? This is going to tell you, where is the twist coming from? Do you have the mobility to twist through the thoracic spine, which is the mid-back, or are you really having a tough time and you're having to twist through the hips and the pelvis? So again, it's not wrong, it's just an indication of your mobility. So really try to keep that right hip down, heavy through the right leg. Good, one more inhale, and as you exhale, full forward fold, relax your head, relax your arms all the way down. Maybe your head got a little closer to the ground after that. Good, tent the fingertips, flatten the back. And now I think the right hand, I'm not mirroring you, so just do the second side for whatever that means for you. So the palm comes to the low back, right on the pelvis, on the lumbar and the tailbone, like you're kind of cupping where your butt crack starts. And then you're going to come into your twist. Now be mindful of the left hip. Can we keep the left hip down and level with the right hip? Can we really find that twist through the mid-back? It doesn't have to be extreme, guys. It's not a competition of like, how far can you go, right? Just do what feels right and feels productive to you. Good, one more inhale. And as you exhale, lower back down, all the way down. Release your head and neck, release the arms, noodle arms. Take a few more deep breaths. You can breathe out through the mouth here. Some big sighs. Good. Now coming back into that flat back, we're going to bring our hands to our hips and we're going to just keep that upper body kind of levitating. And on an inhale, back, bend, back up into standing. Good. Pivot the foot that's at the top of your mat and step back to Tadasana. Very nice. We're done with standing poses. Let's get down on the floor. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower down, all the way down to the floor. Good. Bring your arms down by your sides. Your forehead is down, so thumbs up, or thumbs are down, pinkies are up. You're gonna make a mermaid tail, or merman, I don't know who's watching. So squeeze your thighs together, squeeze the inner edges of your feet together, and squeeze your tush. On an inhalation, we're gonna lift the legs, lift the chest, lift the arms, and the gaze is about a foot in front of you. So you don't need to be looking up, just kind of be looking like out in front of you on the floor, about a foot, foot and a half. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the thighs, lift the thighs, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. Breathe. And on your next exhale, lower down, right ear comes down to the mat and relax. Good, forehead comes back through center. Now you can do that same one again, or if you would like, you can clasp onto like right above the ankles, because we want to be able to flex through the ankles, okay? Now you can do the same one we did before, or you can grab on, and on your next inhale, lift the thighs, lift the chest. I want you to kick back with the legs, like you're trying to escape the grip of your hands. And that's going to help as you kick back with those powerful legs It's going to help lift your chest. Don't forget to breathe. Lift, lift. One more inhale, and as you exhale, lower down, opposite ear to the mat. Relax. Good. Forehead comes center. Hands plant under the shoulders. We're going to sit back into child's pose. You can be wide knees. You can do narrow knees. If your knees don't bend all the way, you can also come into puppy, which is another great option. Just whatever pose, like similar to that you find to be most enjoyable. In your extended child's, you can also drape your arms down by your side. So instead of extended child's pose, we're in a more cocoon-like child's pose. This can be really soothing and very comfortable. So if our practice was a bell curve, we would be now gently sliding down the other side of the curve. Beginning to cool down, and we'll be doing some passive poses for the remainder. Bringing in the yin energy to balance out all that yang and all that effort and energy and heat. Good. Coming into a tabletop position. We're going to come into, hi Ruby. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So just starting on whatever side you'd like. Now if you'd like to use props, a block underneath the hip can be really nice and grounding if you feel like you're kind of hanging out in space. Another great option that I really like is I take my blanket, I roll it up, and then I put it through so that like both of my hips are able to rest on top of it. And again, what that does is it connects me to my mat, which connects me to the earth, which makes me feel more grounded, because otherwise my pelvis is just kind of hanging out in the air. So you do whatever feels best, just a few options. And if you're down, if you've managed to come down into this position, just rest your head, be aware of your shoulders and your jaw. Sometimes when we are working to release tension in the hips, it's like a game of whack-a-mole where like the tension just shows up in other places. So just be aware of that. And the shoulders and jaw is a very common place for that tension to go. And pressing up through your hands, nice and slow. And we're going to do the real lazy transition to get to second side. We're just going to rock onto the hip of the leg that's forward. And we're just going to switch out the legs. So just take your time. Good. Pressing up gently through the palms, rising slowly. And we'll come back into our tabletop position, kind of removing blocks, pads, and whatever's underneath you. We'll cross the ankles so we can lie down right on our back. Good. Straightening out the left leg. We're going to hug the right leg behind the hamstring and then straighten through the right leg. So if you can straighten your knee, that's great. If your knee doesn't straighten, that's also totally fine. What I would like is a flexion in the ankle, okay? So don't point your toe, flex your ankle, yeah. And what that'll do is, regardless of if you have, a bend in the knee or whatever, this can really help bring some length and stretch into the back of the leg. So on every exhale, I want you to imagine or actually take the action to bring that leg just a little bit closer to you. Now, if you have a lot of range here and very long lengthened hamstrings, you can clasp on a little bit higher, okay? That's fine too. Just try to keep a straight knee. If you hyperextend your knee like I do, I'm actually working to keep a slight bend in my knee because hyperextension is not great for the joints. So really just depends on your body. Good, now we're gonna flex and extend. So we're gonna go point, point, point the toe, and then flex, flex, flex the toe. And just keep switching for the next, 20 seconds or so. And just notice what a different sensation that is, right? Oh my goodness. You might be feeling it in your calf now, anterior tibialis, which is just the opposite of your calf. Good, now relax your ankle. You can kind of flop it around a little bit, get rid of that tension. Bend through that right knee and bring the right knee across your body into a twist. I want you to pick up your bottom hip and scoot it back to the center of your mat so that your hips are stacked one over the other. You're placing your left hand on the top of that thigh to keep it weighted down, and then your right arm will reach out to your side, palm up, and the gaze is going to be towards that right palm. Slowly we'll come back through center, straightening out the right leg onto the ground, clasping hands behind your left hamstring, and straightening out the knee best you can. Flex through the ankle. Every exhale, imagining or maybe even being able to get that leg a little bit closer to you. You're going to begin to flex and then extend through the ankle. So we're pointing, the toes are pointing up towards the sky, and then they're pointing towards your face. I'll just go through that for a few seconds. And then shake that ankle out. Bend through the left knee and bring the knee across your body into your twist. Weighting down the top thigh with the hand, and the left arm comes out by your side, palm up. Moving back through center, hug both knees in towards the chest. You can rock side to side. Now, if there's any final pose that you'd really like to take, maybe an inversion, happy baby, please do so. If you don't feel the need to do any more poses, we will move into final resting pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. So for those of you that are doing happy baby or whatever you would like to do just to finish up, I'll just let you know when like 45 seconds has gone by so you can join the rest of us in Shavasana. So for those of you who are ready to take on corpse pose, just make sure that there's space between your body and your armpits, so wide arms, palms facing up. Get your feet away from each other. Close your eyes.
Here we go. Go.
And for those of you that decided to do a final pose of your choice, I'll have you come now into Shavasana and join us. I mean, I'll be sitting here, but please go into Shavasana. So we'll be here for about 5 minutes, just to give you just a little bit of direction in Shavasana. Shavasana is not really a meditation, so don't worry about thoughts coming into your mind. Just, if I had a recommendation, just try not to let any one particular thought take over. So you'll have lots of thoughts coming in and out, maybe emotions, you'll remember things, but just let them come into your mind's eye and then pass through. So just don't attach yourself to anything. And if you find that you have attached yourself, if you feel like you're ruminating, just return your attention to the natural rhythm of your breath. So just using that breath as a touchstone to the present moment, and just allow all those thoughts and feelings, your inner landscape, just be that observer of your inner landscape, with as much equanimity as possible. Fully letting go of any physical effort. And I'll rouse you in about 4 minutes. Begin to deepen your inhales. Small signs of life, wiggling fingers and toes. You can reach your arms up over your head and stretch. Low back comes off the floor like you're just waking up. Hug both knees in towards the chest and come to rock onto the right side of your body. Right arm can come over your head using your bicep as a little pillow, and you'll be in this fetal position for just a few breaths. Pressing up through the left palm with as little effort as possible and remaining eyes closed, coming into your original seated position. Finding both points of contact on your block or pillow. Lengthening up through the spine. And just taking a moment to observe any differences in the quality of your breath or your energy. Taking a moment to extend gratitude to yourself for making this time for yourself today to practice. It's not easy. Good. Bringing your hands to your heart, pressing your thumbs into your sternum. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. I would bow, but Ruby won't let me bow. Thank you, Ruby.